Monday, December 31st, 2018, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Being the last day of 2018 and tomorrow being the first day of 2019, today I'm going to give you my message for next year, what I think is important, at least for me, and you can decide for yourself if it is, of course. That message is to be your own central bank. And I will go further into what that really means for a lot of the new viewers, new subscribers for the channel, and for the old subscribers, old viewers. I guess a refresher on that topic. Before that, of course, I'm going to look at what the markets are doing this morning. I think the markets are open almost everywhere, but they're going to have half days everywhere. So it will be quiet, probably easier for monetary and government officials to manipulate the prices higher. So we'll see. It's 8:25 a.m. right now, London. And spot gold is up half a cent, or half a dollar, sorry, 1281.50. The range has been 1277 to 1283. So gold holding up fairly well. Silver is at 1539, up 1 cent, and the range has been 1544 to 1532. So right now, I personally think the key resistance for silver is towards the 1570-75 area, only because there's an important trend line coming, overhead trend line coming from several years. So it would be an important breakout if we go through that area. The Dow future is up 200 points, almost 1%, 0.88%, 23,267. The range has been 23,015 to 23,301. So we're off the highs. S&P 500 future is up 2150, same 0.7% higher, 2506. Nasdaq 100 future is up just under 1%, or 59 points at 6342. The pound's a little stronger. It's up 0.25% against the dollar at 127.28. Euro is virtually unchanged, 114.38. Dollar's down 0.25% against the yen, just above 110.00. It's at 110.05, right near the lows here. So that's something else to keep an eye on, because because with the yen strong like this, you wouldn't expect the stock market to be higher. That's probably why I see footprints of the PPT or plunge protection team in the markets, because you wouldn't expect the dollar to be down against the yen and the stock market to be up. Usually if the dollar is down like this, the stock market isn't going up. We all know about the carry trade, right? What else? Dollar yuan 687.60, pretty much unchanged. Price of oil continuing to rebound here a bit. WTI is up almost 2% at 46.20. Brent is at 54.24, up also almost 2%. The bond market, the 10-year yield, is still fairly low. And of course, again, I would expect it to be a bit stronger, but it's around 271, 272, like it was on Friday. So again, the stock market, pretty artificial, I would say, the move in the stock markets. So that's it for the markets. Now my message for 2019, and I'm not here to tell you where I think such and such commodity or precious metals or stock should be, or index by the end of 2019. I'm just here to tell you that in order to keep fighting the globalists, or if you want to call them the New World Order, we need to chip away at their power of the purse, which they have through the fiat currency monetary system based on central control through the central banks, through the IMF, through the BIS. And how do we fight that? Well, it's a lonely fight, but I think if more and more people keep fighting that, we can chip away at their power. And we do that by being our own central banks. And what does that mean? Well, that means that you try to keep as little as monetary reserves as possible with their banks. And by that I mean, the commercial banks, the private banks. I think at the Bank of England, people used to have bank accounts there, but most central banks, or 100% of all central banks nowadays, you can't have an account there. So at their corresponding banks, their allied representative banks. And that's how you do it. Yes, of course, we still need the fiat currency for day-to-day transaction. And I'm not in any way saying that you should take all your money, all your fiat currency out of the bank. But if you have savings, I personally don't keep any savings with my bank. I try to put it into tangible assets outside the system. And that's how you become your central bank. It doesn't even have to be gold. Even though it's one of the ways I keep my savings out of the a New World Order globalist banking system, because that's what it is. They want total control, centralized. You can do it through gold, silver, paying off debt. That takes you out of the system. Buying tangible goods, collectors, buying fine wine, buying land, real estate. Of course, you need to do your homework on all of that and see what's best for you. Cryptocurrencies and the blockchain is totally out of the system. That's another way, more speculative, more of a speculation on a future technology. That's something I do as well. Not as much, I don't hold as much of it percentage-wise of my savings as precious metals. And in the UK, I mean, they make it even fairly easy for us, but we're never really advised about this by our financial advisors in the UK. They make these here sovereigns, and even half sovereigns. That's one sovereign, half sovereign. It's still legal tender in the UK. And you might ask, what do you mean it's legal tender? Why don't people use it? Well, it's because of Gresham's law. Legally, it's £1, the sovereign, and that's 50p, I guess, half a pound. But you can get a lot more Bank of England notes for them. So the Bank of England note is the bad money, and it drives away the sovereigns away from circulation. But the most important thing is this. Though the sovereign is no longer in circulation, it is still legal tender in the United Kingdom. And what does that mean for savings? Well, it means that there is no capital gains tax on it. And it says here, as a legal tender coin, the sovereign is exempt from capital gains tax for UK residents. So it's not only the sovereign, but any coin that has a coin of the realm, this half sovereign George V on it. So it's coin of the realm. Other coins as well with a British sovereign will be legal tender. So you don't have to be worried about capital gains tax in the UK. Even silver with the same thing. In the US, it's a different story, I know, but and a lot of you in the US are concerned about confiscation. Yes, that is a danger. They've done it before. They could do it again. But It's not a reason not to accumulate or have gold or silver. If you did that line of reasoning would be if a lot of people think that they're gonna abolish the Second Amendment and they don't protect themselves, they don't go out and buy I don't even want to say it here in this video but you know what I mean. You don't buy protection because you think the Second Amendment is going to be abolished, and you don't do that, right? And it's the same thing for precious metals. It shouldn't be a reason for you not to protect yourself only because you think it's going to be confiscated. So that's my message for 2019. Be your own central bank. Does it have to be just precious metals? No, it's as long as you're out of the banking system, their financial system, and what that does, that chips away at how much you support them, how much you sponsor that system. Because every pound, every dollar, every euro you put in the bank, they will take that and they'll leverage off that. They're basically leveraging it off your effort. So if you don't want to support these people, try to stay away from their system. Be your own central bank. People need to understand that socialism is part of the game as well, as part of the globalist game. And it's not going to help. It's very tempting, of course, to ask government through democratic process to have QE for the people, but that's the wrong way around. If you go for QE for the people, you still be under control of the central banks because they issue the money. What about Trump? Is he fighting the globalists? Well, I think that's still up for debate. I guess one line of defense for him is that if he tried to abolish the Federal Reserve on day one, he probably wouldn't have been around anymore. Is he trying to do that? I don't know. Because by trying to keep the stock market goosed up, trying to keep the system going, he's helping the globalists. Maybe he's got a plan where he, gooses up the system and then the system implodes, and he's able to replace it. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter. As long as you're your own central bank, I would say. And just before I leave, I'd like to recommend a really good book. It's difficult to find because it's limited edition. And it's by a man who actually came up with this term of being your own central bank, and that was Jim Sinclair. And he wrote a book called A Pocketbook of Gold, A Survival Manual for Monetary Mayhem. I highly recommend it. I'll put a link below in the description if I find it on Amazon. If not, you might have to look quite hard for it, but it's not easy to find. I will do a review of this book one of these days and go through what he talks about. So Billy and I wish you all a great 2019. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, share it far and wide, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and you can also follow me on Twitter, Steemit, and on DTube. Take care. Bye.